Wanna feel scared? Well, I can show you a bunch of scary stuff here right now, but that might give you a heart attack, and I don't want that, so... Psych. Hello believers! Welcome to PBIY TV, where I'm not gonna tell you what you should be afraid of, but show you what you should be. I don't know why, but this kind of feels like a Halloween special, and it's not even October yet. Still around? Well, thank you for sticking through this horrible intro. Okay, I'm done with the puns. I don't get people. Why is it that some of us are afraid of watching horror movies and some of us love it? Furthermore, weeks ago when The Conjuring 2 was just released, I got a friend who went to watch it alone at night and came to tell me that it was a fun experience. I read that people died watching it. Seriously! Given that my brother loves to watch Saw, and I used to love watching horror classics like The Nightmare on Elm Street, Chucky, and Halloween while nobody else does, I started asking myself this question. What is fear? And why are some of us so attracted to it? Is it normal to be attracted to it? I figured if I'm gonna figure things out, I'll need to do some searching and researching, which brought me to ask the community on this topic. What is fear? After gathering some feedbacks and help from the community and going through further research on the topic, I believe I have a theory for this little question. This video is the love child of our hard work. So what we usually hear is, fear is bad because it makes you paralyzed, makes you say the wrong thing to your crush, and all those other bad stuff, and we try to avoid it, but I'm pretty sure you've noticed, we don't always avoid fear. Don't believe me? If you're a shy person, you might avoid talking to people because it's scary, but hey, what are you doing playing a video game or watching a movie where literally it's making you constantly experiencing what it's like to be hunting and be hunted? You don't like scary stuff? Why are you putting yourself in a situation which our ancestors were so desperately trying to get out of because it could mean death at any moment? Death is the ultimatum of scary stuff, and yet you enjoy putting yourself in that situation? Yeah, suddenly running around in Dota 2 has more meaning to it now, doesn't it? So what's going on here? We avoid fear because we know instinctively that it's bad, yet we still seek out fear? To understand how fear works, we must first know what is fear. According to Google's dictionary, fear is an unpleasant emotion caused by the threat of danger, pain, or harm, whereas some specialists would say false evidence appearing real. You see, when faced with danger or fear, our brain would send the information it got from our thalamus, the five senses, to the amygdala to help assess the situation and tell our hypothalamus to prepare our body for the fight or flight response, which literally translates to confront or to run away from the danger. When faced with fear, our instincts would automatically fire out this response in the brain, and a number of things will happen to our body, which I'll touch on later. The topic, not your body, you perv. Oftentimes, a good scare is hiding right inside a box or behind a door. Sometimes, we know the door is filled with zombies, but for some reason we open them and then we wish we didn't. Have you ever wondered why is it that when a friend challenges you to do something you aren't used to doing, you'd hesitate? Whenever that happens, you'd feel fear starting to boil inside you, don't you? Well, it's simply because fear is very closely linked to the unknown, which is extremely unpredictable and can also lead to death. It was reported that during the Gulf War in January 1991, when the first missile was launched towards Israel, people feared for their lives, obviously. Many people died, but you know what? Not one man was killed by the missile. Huh? What's going on here? If the missile didn't kill them, what did? The dust from the explosion? The blinding light from the explosion? Well, surprisingly, most died from a heart attack. These victims were all scared to death. Yes, fear is very real and can kill us. Whenever you see something scary around you or moving towards you, what would you feel? Chances are you feel sick to your gut, like something's about to get you and maybe even kill you, am I right? But as we know by now, we humans at times seek out scary stuff. We just can't seem to get enough reasons for us to earn ourselves some Scooby snacks. Our relationship with fear is the most unique amongst the animal kingdom, as no other species actually goes around looking for things that can kill them. Did you know that we gotta overcome fear in order to grow as a human being? As one of the saying goes, a good fear can be more valuable than a good advice. Psychologist Dr. Michael Apter of Georgetown University studied about our attraction to fear, and he argues that people who seek thrills are just contributing to the natural evolutionary process of growing with fear. As we learned from our previous video, the human brain is designed to learn from experience. The more experienced we are, the more prepared we are for the good and the bad situation. Plus, it is rewarding once you succeed in pushing past your limits, conquering the fear, and hence Dr. Apter's argument. But should you fail? Let's have some fun. Aside from boosting our self-esteem, another reason why we chase fear is that it releases dopamine in the brain, which we know from previous episode, it gives the sense of satisfaction. And because people's response to dopamine level differs, we have some people who are true thrill seekers and others not so much. This is why fear sells. Some people find it satisfying to overcome fear, which motivates them to confront their environment and who they are. Yeah, movies can actually make you question yourself and your surroundings. How's that for a fear of reality? And again, the trigger is the amygdala, which lies beneath the cerebral cortex inside the primitive or reptilian brain, which controls our automatic and subconscious actions. Neuroscientist Dr. Joseph Ledoux of New York University explained that the amygdala converts danger signals to the defensive fight-or-flight response, which triggers lots of reactions through the process of association. Imagine this, in the next 24 hours, every time you hear a bell ring, this guy will come out of nowhere to scare you! Now, as you go about your day, suddenly out of nowhere, you hear a familiar. Are you feeling defensive and wondering if another scare is coming? No? You've not been paying attention, have you? Just kidding, you're just used to scarier stuff. But if you are, what's happening here? Your fight-or-flight response is getting ready, but sometimes nothing appears when the bell is heard. Yet, you are still wary and defensive. What happened here is the process called conditioning. You have been conditioned to react this way to the stimulus, which in this case is the ringing sound of the bell. Your brain has associated or linked the bell ring to you getting scared, and it is bad because scary stuff can kill you. So whenever you hear a bell, you'd immediately become defensive. Though associating emotions to specific stimuli isn't all bad, it can also be used for other purposes like order. As seen in the experiment by physiologist Ivan Pavlov, we learned that dogs can be conditioned to come to us by giving them food each time after ringing a bell. Repeat that for a while, and the next time you ring your bell, the doggy pals will come running to you like your very own little K9 unit. Aww. Heck, remember the recess bell back in your school days? Yeah, talk about humans being treated like animals. You people are monsters! Anyway, when we are safe from harm's way, we can expose ourselves to our darkest fears, deliberately triggering our primitive brain, which for some reason is unable to tell the difference between virtual and reality. Ever seen a movie about adultery and started asking yourself if your partner is committing the deeds like the characters are? Yeah, your darkest fears are being explored without you actually experiencing it, but you are actually experiencing it. If you get it. Do you get it? Exception. Activities which induces fear while we're safe inside the safety frame allows us the opportunity to test ourselves, because exposure like this makes us wonder how well we'd be able to cope with the situation if we were really there. It's like a simulation. Ever seen an epic spy movie and think to yourself, yeah, I can do that too, just give me a gun, a cool suit, and watch the fireworks. Well-known horror movie classics director John Carpenter knows exactly how fear works, and the various ways to trigger them. He talked about how he applies techniques that master of suspense Alfred Hitchcock used in his movies. The use of surprise and suspense in the horror genre. Imagine right now, you are watching a movie and the hero is in a room talking to his buddy about how awesome the hero really is, and suddenly... an explosion! Did I catch you by surprise? This is the use of shock or surprise. The reason this works is because the shock is the fast route to fear. You see, the flash from the bomb creates the visual signals which passes immediately to the amygdala. The sudden startle response will tell your brain to trigger the fight or flight response. Aside from the immediate delivery of danger signals through the shock process, the brain also has another slower path which goes through our thinking brain, also known as the sensory cortex, for analysis before activating the amygdala. This process is called suspense, which can be sustained to grow fear. Instead of delivering the shock immediately, it builds up tension with anticipation before the final countdown, keeping you on the edge of your seat. One of the ways this is done is to show the existence of the bomb and keep cutting to the bomb as the characters are talking. In this case, the hero is talking to his buddy, and unknowing to them but known to us, there's a bomb under the table and it's ticking away. Get out of there, you jackass! Carpenter also talked about another way to induce shock and suspense, and that is... silence. Pauses. The audience knows something's going to happen and begins to feel anxious as tension begins to build for, again, the final countdown. Isn't it interesting how we humans have started using anxiety as entertainment? Look at what we have these days and what we're willing to do to create and expose ourselves to this heart-stopping stuff. Like, literally, people died using these entertainment. Are they really entertainment, or are they really just people's way of killing off the competition in life? But one thing I like about video games is that it gives us an experience which movies can't. We can all be in the movie.
No, really. And someday they might make movies where you control the characters yourself.
Sounds like magic.
You said it, Snake. So our brain recognizes the same dangers in the virtual world and the real world. But what exactly happens to your body when the fear response kicks in? You'd experience these: heartbeat quickening, excited breathing, pupils dilation, cold sweat, drop in body temperature, and your focus will be directed only at the possible threat. All this happened to help you survive a bad situation, which in our ancestors' days would be like a fight perhaps with a big cat, except for us now, it's likely a battle between us and our silver screen. Or a jealous co-worker. Or lover. Oh, you naughty! Everyone on Earth essentially has the same fear of certain things, which are identical from person to society and to cultures. We all fear death, changes, rejection, loss of loved ones, mutilation, and as you all know so well by now, the fear of the unknown, the oldest and strongest emotion that we have. That's why we always ask,
I saw you with the box. What was in the box? What's in the box? What's in the f***ing box?
So scientists and psychologists wondered, if we are united with our fears, where do they come from? Are we programmed to fear certain things, or did we learn fear? Infant study shows that in general, we aren't born with any other fears aside from the fear of heights and fear of separation. Ever seen a kid who is not afraid to play with spiders while you are horrified of them? Most of the things that makes us afraid doesn't stem from evolution but from personal experiences. Through these experiences, we are conditioned to respond to dangers so that we can avoid them in future. Ever heard of the little Albert experiment? Google it for another example of conditioning of fear. One of the strongest ways in which we experience fear conditioning is by learning directly from traumatic event. If as a child, we experience the trauma of a dog bite, the emotional memory laid down subconsciously will be recorded down in the amygdala. Memories linked with strong emotions are powerful and long-lasting due to the high level of the hormone, adrenaline, at times of high emotions, which seems to have an effect in strengthening the memory process. Even though the fear conditioning process is the most prominent during our childhood days, we're still being conditioned even today. Just by listening to a scary story, we've been conditioned already. Remember feeling the creeps after hearing a creepy ghost story? Ooh. We don't need first-hand experience to get fear conditioned. Simply by seeing or experiencing someone else's fear would be enough because our brains are wired to be ready to fear strange and odd things. To demonstrate that, here's what Professor of Psychology Dr. Susan Meinecke of Northwestern University got from her experiments with rhesus monkeys and snakes. Lab-bred monkeys were placed near snakes and showed no fear because they've never encountered snakes before and hence had no previous conditioning to snakes. However, after being shown a video of wild monkeys freaking out when they're near snakes, they joined the party. This means that fear has been learned via observation. By learning from experience from others, we can become afraid as well, which also suggests how potent media can be for humans too. This means that if you see someone poking a stick at Simba and didn't get maimed but instead got hugged by him, you might try poking a lion in future when you see one too. Yeah, please don't do that. Yet, not everyone who observes fear in someone acquires the fear. Part of the explanation stems from the initial experience with the fear stimuli. Dr. Meinecke calls this process the immunization against developing a phobia, by exposing yourself to a non-fearful model first before being exposed to a fearful one. Instead of letting a child see how scary dogs are, show them how cuddly they are first before teaching them that dogs can be scary too. Another process of immunization can be done through the use of authority figure, like a father and son. If the father is shown not to be afraid of spiders, the son may learn not to be. Naturally, the opposite can happen too. Interestingly enough, animals who have more control in their environment shows lesser fearful response to animals who do not and even displays more curiosity to their surroundings. Ever seen someone freak out because they just can't seem to get any control in their life? This is where fear starts to affect one's ability to live. You won't do anything in life if you feel that nothing you do makes any difference. If we talk about cognitive process and its link with emotions, research shows that depressed people tend to remember negative experiences and forget the positive ones, while non-depressed tend to do the opposite. People who are anxious or depressed also tend to overestimate the likelihood of bad things happening to them and perhaps even interpret ambiguous situations negatively, which of course enhances our own fears. Oh brain, why are you always doing this to me? We can try to tell people and show them why their fears are irrational, but this usually won't work because what we are doing is just appealing to the thinking brain, which in compared to the amygdala has lesser signals receiver. It's like if the thinking brain is a home, it'll have a main door for entrance and a back door, while the amygdala has like 4 gates for entrance, 2 back gates, and even an underground bat cave. Hence, if we want to help someone lose a fear, we gotta communicate with the amygdala or reptilian brain. Some people think that in order to get rid of their fear, they got to become fearless. That is, in my opinion, a bad way to look at things. Instead of becoming fearless, I think it's better to learn to find the courage to face the fear and learn to manage it. Remember, being courageous in the face of fear is not fearless. It means acknowledging and accepting the fear as you learn to work with it. That's good. You evolve with it by using it to your advantage to help you become a stronger person. Fearless is bad. It makes you charge into a battlefield without thinking as you ignore the existence of the problem, and it's foolish. A typical suicide move. It's kinda like a warrior going to a battle with a bad knee. Either he learns to fight with his injury, or he ignores it and fight. Which do you think will be more likely to have a happier ending? I'll let you decide. Also, I know people say curiosity killed the cat, but hey, sometimes we gotta know that if we are forever trapped in our little bubble of comfort, we will never grow, and our chances for becoming the best version of us is going to be nothing short of a dream. It doesn't have to be that way. We can always learn something from fear, so if you ever find yourself feeling trapped in a cycle, get out there and try something new. Maybe find yourself a date. That can be pretty scary. So let's rewind back to what started this video research in the first place. What is fear? Why are we so attracted to it? Is it normal for us to be attracted to it? Fear is the emotion we feel whenever our life may be in danger or we are in risk of losing something important to us. We are attracted to it because aside from making things fun and worthwhile, it also helps us understand the concept of growing with it and the possible rewards or opportunity that comes with it. All these, however, are only on the individual level. There's something else about fear which I haven't told you yet. Care to take a guess? Did you know that we are also attracted to scary stuff because the dangers triggered by them creates a social bonding effect? Yup, if you experience great danger with another person, you'll become more attached to them. Bonding in times of danger is instinctively universal amongst humans and other animals. A common threat is a common goal. So yeah, being attracted to fear is pretty normal. Some people use fear to escape the daily mundanes of life. To some, these thrills are considered unusual and bizarre, and it's very exciting when compared to the real life where everything is just so normal. I guess it's kinda like why we choose to read fantasy novels or play games, to escape reality, just that to some, it's more interesting if things are a little more grim. Like your best friend, fear can bring out the best in you, as it motivates you to overcome obstacles in life. But we need to keep them in check so that it doesn't turn into panic attack. If you want to deal with issues during an emergency, you gotta learn to stay calm. You need to practice to increase your fear threshold and control your emotions to overcome fear and become you version 2.0. Awesome. Remember, knowing is just half the battle. You gotta apply what you learn to make epic things happen. Think of the possibilities that you can accomplish. Don't limit your own potential. So the next time you want to try something new and exciting or got an important decision to make but are too afraid to, don't let your best friend tell you what to do. Throw them out the window and just dance. Gonna be okay. Da-da-doo-doo.
Son of a bitch!
Remember, no one is afraid of heights, they're afraid to fall. No one is afraid of the dark, they are afraid of what's lurking inside it. No one is afraid to say I love you, they are afraid of the response. Whoa, fear of rejection. Let me feel your heartbreak. Sorry. The decision not to take the shortcut through the deserted alley at midnight is based on the rational fear that promotes survival. Our fear serves to protect us now as it did back when we still don't know what an internet is. Remember when we were talking about anticipation and suspense earlier? Most of us have never experienced a plane crash, but we've heard and read about it on the news, and what do we do when we get on a plane? We pray for safety. Anticipating a fearful stimulus can provoke the same response as actually experiencing it. Those humans who felt rain anticipated lightning and remained in the cave until the storm passed had a better chance of not feeling the wrath of the thunder god. Does that mean the more knowledge we have in life equals to the higher chances of survival? Absolutely! Now you're getting it, Einstein. Here's a cookie. But hey, don't let me tell you what to do. After all, we've all got our own fears and insecurities. Oh wait, insecurities. Social anxiety is gonna be something to look into. Maybe in the next video. For now, keep your friends close and your enemies closer because you'll never know when you get chased by that guy from Scream. And you'll need to throw him a victim. But hey, don't let me stop you if you want to throw yourself at a guy instead, because after all, this is just a theory, courtesy of PBIY TV. Thanks for watching! Before we end this video, how about we play two games here? First, let's play a game of Punch and punch the like button with your cursor or finger to show it who's boss. Yeah, you know you like to dominate a thumbs up. Next, let's play a game of Would You Rather. Would you rather have the next episode be about social anxiety? Or would you rather have it be something else totally different, like maybe why do we love superheroes? Whatever your answer is gonna be, feel free to write to me down in the comment section and let me know what you think. And don't forget to like our Facebook page for updates as well, and feel free to join us there and share your positivity with everyone. A shout out to the WordPress community contributors. Thank you guys for giving me the help with my research, and to you viewers, if you want to know who these awesome people are, check out the description. There are links to these wonderful people's blogs and sites. Show them some love and tell them I sent you if you do leave a comment there, okay? And don't forget to visit our website. Oh yeah, and one more thing. Click on the subscribe button to show your support because it will make me very, very happy. Ooh, a new subscriber.